Well. Beautiful people, best damn nation. Let me talk to you. Yeah. Welcome to the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. I'm your humble host, Brian Renegade. And with me, I have the best damn crew. First of all, I would like to welcome to the show the Renaissance man himself, the entrepreneur of entrepreneurs. Some call him the genie of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. You know who? We do. He is the resident villain of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. Your boy, LP, is in the building.
What's going on, man?
What's happening, pimp? What's going on with you?
Man, in the middle of a shoot, but I still had to check in with y'all today.
Oh, man. You know, it's always good to hear from the great LP during one of his photo shoots, man. What you doing today?
A little boudoir shoot.
Boudoir? Okay. All right. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna look good today. You know what I mean? LP is gonna shine them up, you know, make them look real good. How many models do you have for the shoot?
Just one a day.
Okay. All right. Well, shoot, man. We have you. We're glad to have you on the show. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. You want to talk some wrestling, LP?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I know you do. Listen, I ain't gonna hold you, man. There's a lot of stuff that's been happening. And you know, this is my favorite time of the day when I get to do one of my favorite segments. Beautiful people, prepare yourself. It's Hot Topics. LPZ, we just saw one of the greatest endings to one of the greatest storylines of all time. I don't care about your love of hip-hops. I don't care about your telenovelas. I don't care about the young and the restless or as the world turns. But what I do care about, sir, is this bloodline storyline, man. And we got a doozy of an ender for you. Listen, LP, did you get to check it? I know it's been buzzing all around the web space, man, but did you get to check out the finale or somewhat ending of Roman Reigns' tyrannical? That's a word. Tyrannical reign.
I think it's tyrannical, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you can't not miss it. It's all over the place.
It's all over the place, man. Let's talk about it for a second. Oh man, listen. Bloodline has been feuding, having some inner turmoils for the last couple of weeks. We saw Jimmy Uso get exiled from the Bloodline last week. And now this week, your tribal chief wanted to see if Jey Uso was still down with the crew. They gave him an ultimatum. Jey Uso, either you get down or lay down. But Roman Reigns came from a different perspective and a different point of view, saying, hey, I wanted to make you the tribal chief. You were next in line to get the whole throne, to carry the weight of the tribal chief and the weight of the championship and the weight of the family on your shoulders. Jay Uso, you were next in line. And the only person who did not like main event Jay Uso was your brother Jimmy Uso. So Roman Reigns turned to the wise man and said, "Wise man, who was the only person that did not believe in Jay?" Paul Heyman's eyes got real big. You know how you point at somebody without pointing at somebody? You know what I'm saying? You use your eyes like, you. That's kind of what Paul Heyman hit us with, man. And Jay turned to Jimmy and said, "Jimmy, is that true?" Jimmy was like, "Yeah, it's true." He was like, oh, you know how Jay started pacing this shit. When he started pacing, that's when you know it's about to go down. He started pacing this stuff. He was like, oh, so I expect for Roman Reigns and Solo and Paul Heyman to not believe in me, but I don't expect that from you. We up here beefing with them, but the whole time I've been trying to keep up with your ass. You know Jay from the hood, because when he point his arm, his wrist, his hand wrist motion, he point at somebody like this. Not with one finger, but the whole 5 fingers. I've been trying to keep up with your ass, Mr. Prime King. Huh? Mr. Most valuable player, most likely to succeed. You know what I'm saying? And so I thought that the whole thing was going to be over. Because when Jay Uso said, you know what? So you out. You out of the bloodline. Roman back there laughing like a chest of cat. Yeah, he out. Roman up there laughing at him. Jay looked at his brother and said, I'm out too. Pushed him and kicked the shit out of Roman Reigns. The whole place went crazy. The whole entire building went crazy. Nobody could believe it. I was on the couch like, ow! Ow! I could not believe what I was seeing. Solo didn't know what to do. He was like, you know what? I'm going to ride with the tribal chief. He went to attack his brother. Jay ducked out the way, caught a super kick from Jimmy. Blah. He stumbled back. Listen, the Usos are so good. The only thing that they have to do is look at each other. And their timing is perfect. So when they do the double kicks and they kick their opponents in the face at the same time, laid them out. Roman Reigns got up. How can you do this to me? I can't believe you do this to me. They looked at him, kicked him in the face, knocked him out clean. Flushed, laid out on the ground. Arms stretched wide, armpits to the sky. Man, a great ending to this storyline. I know that there's more, but LP, let me get your thoughts on the whole bloodline storyline so far and the way that it ended. Storyline itself with the Usos kicking Roman Reigns in the face. Let's talk about it.
Oh man, I think it's I think they did a real good job because you didn't really know. Every week you don't know what direction they're going. So I didn't think it was going to happen but I like the fact they didn't stretch it out and they didn't make it go on and linger. So yeah, I was hyped. I was hyped when it happened. And, you know, that don't happen a whole lot in wrestling when you just jump out your seats like you used to do back in the day.
Yeah. Did you jump out of your seat, LP?
Yeah, I got hyped. I can't lie. I got hyped. And it was like I thought I saw it coming, but then I was like, they ain't gonna do it. And then they swerved me. So that's the
yeah, that was the swerve of the century, man.
Yeah, that's how you look to your left, and then here come that right. So I still think the story ain't finished. I still think Solo is gonna betray Roman, but I guess we're gonna see.
We just gotta wait on that, man. We just gotta wait on it. Let me ask you a question, man. What has more impact? Did Sami Zayn betraying the bloodline, Jimmy getting exiled from the bloodline, or the Usos turning on Roman Reigns?
Ah, you know what? They almost have equal value because of the fact of the way they built it each time. I still
Okay.
gotta say, I think the Sammy was probably the biggest because they put more time into Sammy stuff than the rest of the stuff. I mean, yeah, if I had to rate it, I would probably put it in the order. I'll probably put Sammy, then Jimmy, and then Jay. In that order of the way it went down.
In that order?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because that was kind of heavy, man. The whole betrayal of the bloodline thing, that was, man, it was tough. I think that when Sammy did it, it took all of the steam out of the bloodline and where they were going. It still told the story really well, which is what I love. And Sami Zayn has become a megastar off of the bloodline storyline. You know what I'm saying? Um, when Jimmy kicked Roman, I didn't know where that was going because I wanted to see it, and I think everybody else wanted to see it. But when it happened, we were like, "Oh snap!" You know what I'm saying? It caught me off guard, and it caught millions of other people off guard. But this one, when the Usos kind of betrayed the bloodline itself, and now we have a civil war where more than likely it's going to be Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos at Money in the Bank. That's going to be a great match. LP,
You froze up. Say that again.
what do you expect to see out of the whole Civil War uh, battle that they're going to have at Money in the Bank?
That's why I kind of think either Solo going to do something. If well, I don't know. It's just starting, so I know they don't want to end it already.
Right.
So I think this may just be a regular match, but I think it's going to make Solo or somebody else do something different, or Roman going to call somebody else in. It's just not going to be 2-on-2. Something is going to spark during it to keep it going, because they definitely going to keep this going because this storyline keeps it going, and then it allows Roman not to really have to fight for his belt as well. We'll still have a good story.
You think we might see a new member of the Bloodline?
Yeah, I know that. I mean, they got a lot of people in their family, so I know. I think not Rakish. Umaga got another son that just debuted somewhere. I don't think. I don't know if it was NXT. I don't know, but I know. I saw he got a son that debuted.
Okay.
So they definitely could add to it. But yeah, I think if they add anybody to the bloodline, it's not going to be an outsider. It'll be another someone.
Man, you know what? I was thinking about who could possibly be introduced into the bloodline. And does the bloodline have to be blood of the Anwali family? I don't think so. I think that they can really introduce, for instance, if Roman wanted to take Zion Lee, who is a free agent coming up from NXT, I believe he's from Australia, but he has, or New Zealand, I'm sorry, New Zealand. I believe he's from New Zealand, but he has Samoan ancestry. So does Bronson Reed. I think if you added Bronson Reed and Zion Quinn to the bloodline to replace Jimmy and Jay, that could work. And or if you wanted to bring, what I'm saying, like you said, one of the you said one of the cousins, another cousin from the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Uh, family runs deep, man. Family runs deep, and I would love to see what they do after that, and if they continue to keep the storyline moving and shaking. But man, right now, I'm interested to see that Civil War fight, and I know it's going to be money. Uh, LP, who you got your money on to actually win that fight? Do you think Solo Sikoa is going to pull off that win with your tribal chief Roman Reigns, or do you think the Usos is going to do what they always do and dominate that match?
I actually think the Usos going to do it because the Usos need this win if they want to keep the story going. If Roman and Solo win, it don't really do much for the story. But if Roman and Solo loses, then it adds to the story more. Like they could run it different ways, and still that does and it's making Roman go look like Roman's is continuing to go down.
And lose his touch.
Yeah,
The slow downfall of the king. I can see that. I can see that plan. But still, we don't have anybody that's going to be able to take that belt off of Roman other than Solo Sikoa. And you're right. I think it might be Solo Sikoa if Paul Heyman sticks around. The Bloodline faction. Solo Sikoa could be poised to be in the next champion, man, and he can be billed as an undefeated savage of sorts. But I don't know, man. And we talked about it last time. Who do you see taking that belt off of Roman? Beth Damn Nation, if you see any superstar that has the potential to take the belt off of Roman Reigns, please put it in the comment box or go to our social media pages and just make a comment of who you think Roman Reigns is going to be defeated by. You know what I'm saying? I'm interested to see that. Let me go out to the Best Damn Nation, man. Got a comment on Facebook. It says, when Jimmy and Jay look at each other, it's a wrap with that double kick. I definitely agree with that. LP, man, you said that the super kick is way overdone and oversaturated, man. What do you rate the double kick from the Usos, man, on a scale of super kicks?
I I can't say I like rate it high. It's because sometimes they make it look super strong, and the next time they don't. It's one of those iffy things to me.
Yeah. You're right. I can see your point on that.
Yeah, because like one of them get hit by a super kick, they don't get back up, but everybody else can take a super kick and keep on rolling to the next part.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who still uses the super kick as a finisher. I think Dolph Ziggler does, but he also has the zigzag. But yeah, I'm trying to think who has a super kick as a finisher. I can't think of anybody right now.
I don't think nobody in the main main shows does it just because it's so oversaturated now. People will do it, but not as a finisher move.
Right. I can see that. Well, man, I'm interested to see where the rest of this Bloodline storyline kind of goes, man. It's a big story right now, and I know if you guys haven't checked out what happened this past Friday on SmackDown with the Bloodline storyline, do yourself a favor and go check it out. You know what I'm saying? It's good TV, good television. Let's talk about something else that I got really excited about on SmackDown. This SmackDown was pretty good, man. We had the Grayson Waller effect. Grayson Waller had his talk show on SmackDown, and he introduced and was flabbergasted and almost had the words taken out of his mouth. I think I could really see he was nervous when he interviewed the Queen, Charlotte Flair. LP, I know you're happy, man. I know you're happy to see my girl back in the place to be. You missed her. Wrestling has missed her. The show has missed her. What do you have to say about that, Mister?
I don't think nobody want to see Flair right now. It's just for her to show up and get another title shot. I'm sorry. It's just
yes.
It's just not. That's not it. Nah, she hasn't earned it. Once again, she just popped up. I'm big.
Hold on.
I'm big on people not earning stuff.
What blasphemy did you just say? Charlotte Flair did not earn it.
No, she didn't.
She doesn't have to earn it. She's Charlotte freaking Flair.
No, she still got. She still need to put in work, man. That's why people don't like her, just because I told you before they're gonna raise that her numbers up doing it just like that.
Look, I'm gonna tell you what Charlotte said. She said, back of the line. I don't wait at the back of the line. I started the line. She said the line begins and ends with me. I created the line. I'm not waiting in line for a title shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? I'm Charlotte Flair. Why do you want to see Charlotte Flair dig her way up from the bottom to the top? What sense does that make? That's just like watching um, Brock Lesnar roster just to get up to Seth Rollins. He don't wait. That's Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it still got to make sense. You breaking up. You froze. You froze.
Yeah, man. The whole thing with Charlotte Flair, beautiful people. I'm gonna have to put you on a pause. But listen, I'll be back in a second. Oh, guys, I want you to check out this interview with Mr. Everything. We're going to do a little throwback real quick. As Mr. Everything interviews everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, this is your boy, Mr. Everything, and I just went to battle with this legendary superstar, this man of God, this soldier of arms. You know him as Gunner, you know him as Jackson Riker, I know him as a really good friend. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, Gunner.
Appreciate tonight, man. Appreciate tonight.
I know, I truly appreciate it. I've seen you 13 years ago in a locker room like this. And I've seen you grow, and I've seen you go to TNA, I've seen you go to NXT, WWE. Out of everything that you've ever done, what is most special to you in everything that you've done?
Man, wrestling or in general? Oh yeah. Oh boy, man, that's a lot of memories. For me, one that can stand out, I think, is and I've said it before on many shows. I'll say two things. One, in 2012, I got a chance to wrestle Sting, who I grew up watching. But then in 2014, me and Nick Aldis, Magnus at the time, main evented Manchester Arena for the world title. That stands out to me because I remember just how electrifying the crowd was. We went into that match, long story short, Nick from that area in England, and we're thinking, dude, this will backfire. But they hated him, they loved me, he told a story, and it's just, that's one of those memories I think that'll last forever for me. So I've got many, but that's a standout.
That's a standout.
Yeah.
Man, you are an amazing individual. You are a blessing to me, all the guys in the professional wrestling business, not just this locker room, everybody. And I humbly thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gunner, Mr. Everything, back to you guys at the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast.
Well, a little blast from the past, man. That was Gunner, formerly Jackson Riker, with the WWE, man. He's doing his thing, and he's on his farewell tour, wrestling all around the country. Mr. Everything was breathing hard because he had just got finished rolling around in the ring with him, man. So that was a great interview. I just thought I'd bless you guys with a little twofer, you know what I'm saying? Little blast from the past, man. But SmackDown was super crazy. Going back to the women's division, we have Bianca Belair, who's claiming that she's next in line for the belt. Charlotte Flair feels like she shouldn't have to wait in line. She should automatically get a title shot. And she does have a title shot because Asuka accepted Charlotte Flair's challenge. And now we have Charlotte Flair versus Asuka at Money in the Bank. And Bianca Belair said, no matter which one of you wins, I'll be watching and waiting. Best believe your girl Bianca Belair wants to get back on top. Um, I think that she was an absolute great champion. I hope that this time away from the belt really gives her the opportunity to really go further with her character and really build it up and define it. I'm interested to see what they do with Bianca Belair now that she doesn't have the belt and now that she's chasing the belt along with Charlotte Flair. The SmackDown Women's title contention spot is really heating up, and eventually I think we're going to get Bianca versus Charlotte Flair. Maybe that might be at SummerSlam. Maybe that might be at Survivor Series, or maybe they might try to hold that off for WrestleMania. I know that's going to be big. I know I'm waiting to see it. SummerSlam makes sense because now they're both on the same brand and they're both doing their thing. But let me know what you guys think. Who would you rather see with the title? Do you want to see Charlotte Flair hold the title again? Do you want to see Bianca hold the title again? Or do you think Asuka has what it takes to have a lengthy title reign like she used to have back in the day? Comment in the comment box or hit up our social medias to let us know what you think. But I can't wait to see Bianca versus Charlotte. I think that's going to be absolutely great. Bianca was taking little jabs at Charlotte, man. She was saying, I didn't have to win the title 14 times to make history, to become relevant. You know who had to do that? You did. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing shots, little jabs at her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see where that goes. Something else that happened on SmackDown, the tag team scene is kind of heating up, and they were trying to see who was going to be the next contenders for the unified tag team titles with Sami Zayn and KO. You know who we got? We got Pretty Deadly. I knew when I saw Pretty Deadly ringside that they was going to win that match. I absolutely knew that. But now we have Pretty Deadly versus KO and Sami Zayn. I'm not sure if that's going to be at on the SmackDown or if that's going to be at Money in the Bank. But when it does happen, I'm pretty interested to see who actually wins that. I know they might try to split up the belts, or Pretty Deadly might take it. I'm not saying that I don't like KO and Sami Zayn holding the belts because they are great on TV and their dynamic together is really good. But to be honest with you, I mean, Pretty Deadly is a great team. They're very entertaining. So we'll see if KO and Sami Zayn are able to hold on to those belts when they challenge Pretty Deadly. And we get to see what Pretty Deadly is really made of. Let's go over to Monday Night Raw, man. Monday Night Raw started off with a bang. Finn Balor attacked your boy Seth Rollins, man. Seth Rollins came down to gloat, came down to dance. Everybody was excited. Everybody was partying. And then all of a sudden, man, Finn Balor just came out of nowhere, beating the hell out of Seth Rollins, got him outside, coup de grace off the steps onto Seth Rollins' chest. That means he jumped off the steps and both of his feet landed directly in his sternum. Pushed all his shit out. all his good got discombobulated. Seth Rollins was on the ground. He thought it was over. It was not. He came back around for a second round, jumped off the steps, hit him in the same place again. Stomped all yesterday's lunch out his stomach. And then he was like, okay, I'm leaving. No, he didn't. He came right back around. Stepped on him again, like he's squashing roaches. Man, LP, what did you think about Finn Balor attacking Seth Rollins? It looked a little personal, man. If you guys know a little bit of the history between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, Finn Balor was the first Universal Champion, and then he got hurt by Seth Rollins. and he did not have a long title run at all. He's been waiting 7 years for this opportunity, and now he has it again. So, Finn Balor is really making himself to be a villain, because last time we saw Seth Rollins and Finn Balor in the ring, the crowd was just so loud that Finn Balor could not get out what he was trying to say. He could not at all. He couldn't beat that crowd, man. But this time he had to let the violence speak for himself. What do you think about Finn Balor attacking Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw? LP.
I think they did. I think they did a great job with it. I'm surprised they didn't go with this storyline. It took them 7 years to come up with a storyline about them two doing that. But yeah, it made it more interesting. And I told you that they weren't gonna have that match on NXT unless I'm mistaken. Then they had a match and I ain't seen it nowhere.
You did not. Hold up. I got to stop you there because they did have the match, and we're gonna talk about it because I watched it. Yeah,
I didn't see that. I ain't seen nobody talk about it, so I thought they didn't have the match. Okay,
it was a banger.
Oh, okay. Well,
it was a banger of a match. But go ahead and finish it, then we'll talk about that a little bit later with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. But go ahead.
All right. So yeah, but I really think it was good. I mean, Seth is gonna lose about this quick, but I think that whatever cracks that they had in the Judgment Day, they erased all those cracks last week. I don't know if they're gonna go back to it, but it seemed like they changed their mind. Like it looked like they was on the verge of making them break up, and then they kind of changed their mind and went back the other way. Because the Judgment Day looked pretty strong, even though they lost, they still look strong the whole entire show. So the Judgment Day really is, they ain't the Bloodline, but they the best villains.
They the best on Raw.
Yeah, they the best. I mean, they're not doing good stuff with Rhea. I don't like what they're doing Rhea at all, but they're not doing Rhea any favors. I'll say that because this whole Natalya thing is just like, I feel bad for Natalya because she's a lot like Dolph Ziggler. Like they done too much to keep on getting treated like they get treated.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of damage to Natalya, man. And to be honest with you, Rhea, looking as dominant as she is, she's doing damage to the rest of the competitors on Monday Night Raw. Because I can't, other than Raquel Rodriguez, who I think for sure can take it off of Rhea Ripley, even though she's not as big of a star as Rhea is. But in ring prowess, they can. I can't wait for that to happen because, they shared a little moment on Monday Night Raw. Raquel had said a couple things, and then Rhea had walked up and was like, "What was all that you were just talking?" And Raquel looked at her. She was like, "Mommy, you're not ready for me." And then stared her down and walked off. Raquel is the only competition in my eyes that can really step up and beat Rhea Ripley. She's a baby face right now. And, you have other baby faces on Monday Night Raw, but none of them I can't see toppling Rhea's star right now. You know what I'm saying? Not even Trish Stratus, who some consider to be the greatest of all time. But now look at Trish, I'm like, somebody please get Mae Young out the ring. That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Trish ain't got no. I did not expect her to still be wrestling. Like I said, she must just need some. Because she ain't got no business still wrestling. I thought she was gonna be a manager. And she's going for Money in the Bank. Like, I mean, now
Money in the Bank.
Trish is the type of star who could carry that briefcase and make it interesting. Unlike all these other females, even Rodriguez on the other one, they would just hold the briefcase. And I think with the briefcase, you just can't hold it. You got to make it interesting. You got to make people want to see when you're gonna cash it in. And when you give it to a regular person, it just ain't I ain't say a regular person, but if you give it to somebody who ain't got no charisma, like the Miz got charisma, Edge, CM Punk, like even when Big E had it. So if you just give it to any, Michelle Rodriguez would just say she got it. Like Trish, I don't even know who all the females is already in the match, but I know Trish is actually probably the most interesting to be perfectly honest. Even though hell no, I hope we don't see that. But
Yeah,
she's
I
the
think you
only
got a point, man.
she's the only viable star that could do something and really. I mean, maybe Tricia will get it. Maybe that's part of why she came back. That's probably some pretty sure she got some kind of contract set up where she may be like, let me get the belt one more time, which I could again wouldn't make it. Only way she would beat Rhea is if she keep the girl Zoe Stark by her side, but it'll look like some cracks in that already because both of them are in that match. I think.
Yeah, you got a point. But we might see them working together at some point. To be honest with you, now that I think about it and I look at the landscape of that match, Trish Stratus looks like she's the strongest competitor. And you're right. I think that if you gave Trish Stratus Money in the Bank, then I'm not sure if both Rhea and Asuka will look at Trish as a real threat, but with someone like Zoe Stark by her side, and then maybe if she got another girl, I don't know, but maybe with just her and Zoe Stark, that makes her kind of the dangerous, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, that's the only way she's gonna do it is she get help. Her winning straight up is not even a thought.
Yeah,
That should
yeah.
not be a thought in anybody's head. You see the way she won the bit. You see the way she won the opportunity. Stuff like that makes more sense than her actually, her actually winning. But at least she did have a match to qualify, unlike Logan Paul.
Oh man, I'm glad you said that. So let's go ahead and make that transition over because Logan Paul brung his slug ass back to WWE and sat at the top of a ladder and kind of started. I thought he was baby facing for a second, talk about how great Cleveland was and the people that came out of Ohio and all that stuff. And then he was saying, I'm going to bring honor back to Cleveland because he's like the best thing I ever did was move from Cleveland. And so he was just going in on the crowd, man. But he said he talked to the higher ups and they put him in the Money in the Bank match. And then for some reason, Ricochet came out and then Shinsuke came out and now everybody started coming out. But when LA Knight came out, he fired up everybody. LA Knight is the favorite, even with Logan Paul in this match. LA Knight is still the favorite to win this thing. And I like everybody that's in this match. If I had to say who was ready, I would say LA Knight is definitely ready. And LA Knight would make it interesting if he was Money in the Bank. I don't want to see Logan Paul with the belt pop in and out and then challenge somebody and just like get it like that. I hope that does not happen. Because I think that. Go ahead.
No, well, I was about to say, I think with the last couple of Money in the Banks, not really. It doesn't matter like it used to. I think with LA Knight, they can make it matter. With Logan Paul, they're not gonna make it. But you do know when stars get over organically, they are quick to say screw the fans and do something. So when Logan Paul showed up, I was like, oh, here we go, because LA Knight had it in the bag. So now I don't got LA Knight. I don't got LA Knight at 100%. I got him still winning. But it's a high chance that they're gonna pull some bullshit and give it to Logan Paul, which the fact that he didn't even have a qualifying match is just a spit in the face to these guys in the back. I know that their job.
To everybody, the women included.
Yeah, I had a guy in one of the wrestling groups. He said that Logan Paul brings eyes to the product. I know you said it a lot, but like I told him, he really don't. He brings eyes to the product on TikTok and YouTube, but his people are not tuning in to the pay-per-view. They just wait for the highlights to come out. I'm pretty, he is bringing eyes to the product and they talking about it, but it's not affecting anything in the big picture. Yeah, they have viral moments, but that doesn't help anything. Or the Peacock subscriptions going up, or the pay-per-views getting bigger. Like, no. So Logan Paul, he's not really bringing eyes to the product like they act like he is, because he really not. It'd be different if it's a boxing match. His fans will tune into a boxing match. It's just him, but they're not tuning in to watch a whole lot of wrestling. People they don't care about just to see him when they can just see it on TikTok on Monday or.
Listen, LA Knight came down to the ring. It told Logan Paul that he makes content for 14-year-old girls on TikTok and he want to call himself a megastar. Listen, he said that, bro. I dropped everything and busted out laughing. You can see on his face that kind of stung when LA Knight said that. And then Logan Paul didn't say nothing else after that. He kind of talked off the mic a little bit, and you can hear certain things he was saying. Oh, okay, this guy's coming up now. But after LA Knight said that, bro, he shut everything down, man. And to be honest with you, I would love to see LA Knight get this opportunity. LA Knight was one of those guys that came up from NXT that you were saying was in the group of a bunch of nobodies. But LA Knight is doing his thing right now, man. And to be honest with you, Money in the Bank, I would love to see LA Knight win that, but I already know that they're going to give that to Logan Paul. I already know it. And it sucks to say and see, but I know that's what's going to happen. But I thought that was a slap in the face when he was like, oh, yeah, I just talked to the higher ups and they just put me in the match. For the men and women that had to qualify for that, I thought that was kind of disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I already know that Logan Paul is a big outside star, almost Bad Bunny-ish. We were talking before who was the greatest celebrity wrestler ever. And then it was one point, at that point in time, Logan Paul had just had a match with Roman Reigns. And then, we were kind of trying to figure out if it was him or Bad Bunny. With the Puerto Rico thing, Bad Bunny by far. I don't see anybody topping what Bad Bunny did in Puerto Rico. I don't. That was otherworldly. But Logan Paul, man, we'll see. I think they're going to give him the Money in the Bank contract just to make it interesting. And he might take it all over the place, all over, different media outlets and really bring more eyes to WWE and the Money in the Bank. After Money in the Bank, heading towards SummerSlam. That's the next big event. They got to promote that. I can see them having Logan Paul cash in his contract after he wins it at SummerSlam. I don't know if you agree with me, but that's kind of how I feel like they're leaning towards. And I'm pretty sure he's going to cash it in on Seth Rollins. I doubt if he's going to do it.
Yeah, he's not gonna do it on Roman. From what I'm hearing, Bobby Lashley's supposed to be getting his shot. Whether we'll see, because right now they give Roman this space because that's why they keep on doing this whole storyline, because Roman once again is not going to defend his title at the next pay-per-view. So the next time he defends it, like something literally has to happen, or even if it's against one of them, he got to defend his belt. Like, y'all can't keep on talking about this guy's just the greatest, this and that, and the third, and the dude don't never defend his damn belt. Seth Rollins defended his belt in the gymnasium against against scrubs. So you can't sit here and say, I know he just fighting champion, but at the same time, like, you can't have Seth doing all this. And you got to think too, Seth is having these big matches every week and everywhere else. Seth put more wear and tear on his body than Roman putting on his. I know Roman did a house show when he went against Rey Mysterio, which was surprising to everybody. But that was a house show, so damn well he wasn't about to lose his belt at no house show.
Right.
Yeah, and they're not gonna give Rey the opportunity to fight the next pay-per-view, I don't think. So I actually think LA Knight is better because LA Knight can pop up on both shows and really bring and talk his trash on both shows. Logan Paul is just going to show up here and sporadically. But if you really pay attention to Logan Paul has zero mic skills. Like, he don't have the fans boo him because he's a heel, but they don't got a choice because he's not likable. He doesn't know how to talk. The stuff he says, you can tell they let him do what he want to do, which is another piece of crap. He should have a script, not trying to. Yeah. I think the only thing funny he did say when your boy Butch came down, he was like, "What's this? Bring your kids to work day?" Like that was that was
Listen,
funny.
I freaking love Butch because I knew when Pete Dunne, aka Butch, came down to the ring, everybody just got to finish talking. And his music hit. I was like, Butch ain't gonna say nothing. He ain't gonna say nothing. Butch walked right down to the ring, got in the ring, ain't say shit. He just punched Logan Paul in the face and started going at it. I'm like, yo, I love Butch because everybody wanted to see that happen. And I know I could always count on Butch to lose his mind and just go savage on somebody for no reason. I enjoyed it.
They shouldn't have had Logan Paul. If they're gonna have him do what he did at the end, nobody got hit with nothing for real. Like people got thrown out of the ring and little stuff. Like if y'all gonna do all that, like they needed some. I know he punched Butch, so of course that, but everybody else still should have been good. Like, and nobody else should have been knocked.
After Butch walked down to the ring and punched Logan Paul in the face to start the fight, I didn't care what happened after that because that moment was just so iconic to me. He didn't say nothing. He just walked. Everybody just got finished walking down to the ring saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to win Money in the Bank. I'm going to beat you." Blah blah blah. But soon as he got in the ring, he was on sight. He didn't say nothing. I love that aspect of it, man. And I was like, I don't even care if they ended it with Logan Paul punching out, but I don't care. The fact that that Butch walked in there and got his lick off, that's all I cared about, man. That's all I cared about. You know what I'm saying?
Damn that lick when you got knocked out at the end. I don't know about that one now. Getting a lick in is cool, but I don't want to get laid out after the fact.
As a fan, I didn't care. I didn't care after that. Me as a fan, to be honest with you, because I just saw that and it made the whole segment for me. You know what I'm saying? LA Knight, when he told Logan Paul that he'd make content for 14-year-old girls and he shut him up, and then Butch walking down to the ring and punching Logan Paul in the face, that did it for me. That was a great segment. You know what I'm saying? And it was at Logan Paul's expense, man. But to be honest with you, I think that we're going to have to vote on it. Best Damn Nation, who do you feel like is going to win Money in the Bank? I got my money on Logan Paul, even though I don't want to put my money on Logan Paul. LP said he got your boy. Who you got, LP?
I'm gonna stick with LA Knight. I mean, they probably gonna give it to him, but I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm not gonna say Logan Paul under no circumstance. I'm do it.
Hey man, your boy get too close to, he be almost winning, and that's the thing that scares me. For somebody that's not a real, he's college and collegiate wise and wrestling wise, he's a real wrestler. But in the professional wrestling realm, he is not a real wrestler. And I think that
I'm tired of people acting like I just had this argument earlier today. Dude, does he look good in the ring with his highlights and stuff? Yes, he does. He's great in the ring, but he's only as great as these guys make him look. Roman could have murdered him in 2 minutes. Seth Rollins could have murdered him in 3. The Miz could have murdered him in 5. Like, if they really wanted, they make him look good.
5 minutes? Why 5 minutes? The Miz got to be crafty. He got to figure his way out.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I'm old, but hell, I'm a little athletic, but if I sat in the ring with one of them, I'll be asleep in seconds. Unless they wanted me to, unless they wanted it to look good, then they can make, you already know wrestlers can make you look as good. Just like Becky made Trish look good that match, even though Trish was stinking up the place. Like whoever you work with is gonna make you look good, and that's one of the reasons why John Cena said he didn't want to wrestle Austin Theory. Not Austin Theory. Who was
Awesome.
John Cena didn't want to wrestle somebody.
Austin Theory.
No, it was somebody else. They wanted John Cena to wrestle before Austin Theory. God dang, I can't think of who it was. Was it Logan Paul? I don't know. It was somebody.
It was probably Logan Paul. I think I did hear that. Yeah. He didn't think that Logan Paul was ready.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we'll see. What is it? was it 2 more weeks or a week? I know sometime next month.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, let's go out to the Best Damn Nation real quick. We got Mama Everything going live. She said, "Hey guys, how you guys doing? We good, Mama Everything." LP, say hey to Mama Everything.
Hey, how you doing? Well, tell your son to show up to work.
Yeah, just take your time off.
Yeah, we're gonna turn to a 2-man podcast. We're gonna have to start bringing in some new folks.
Bringing in some new people, man. I got you, man. We got some new guests coming in. We get some female personalities and all kind of stuff.
Have a feeling when people don't. Yeah, that way we bring some of the Best Damn Nation on when we missing people to fill in the spot.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start doing some Best Damn People, Best Damn Nation. I might do that. Do a little sign up. You know, it's a little competition for the Best Damn Nation to show up on and give their thoughts on some of this wrestling content, man. We got another comment from the Best Damn Nation that says Gunther can probably do it. I think that's referring to beating Roman Reigns. LP, do you think that Gunther got the juice to beat your tribal chief, Roman Reigns?
I really think he does, but as always, it depends on how they're gonna play it. I think now with Roman not having the full bloodline, it makes him weaker now. So you remember before we always said that when Bobby fought him, he needed the Hurt Business to back him up. With Gunther, you got Imperium. But now, if it's just Roman and Solo and Paul Heyman, it ain't the same as it was before when you had that whole squad. So other people really can really take on Roman right now, and Gunther definitely can.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I haven't seen too many people where they feared the faction, right? I think the bloodline really elicited a lot of fear from people because they said, "Hey, this is the crazy part. The bloodline was so powerful. It's almost like the NWO at that period of time when the NWO was running the whole industry, and you knew if you had a match with anybody from the NWO, you was gonna get jumped. You remember that, LP?
Oh yeah, and spray painted.
And spray painted. You're gonna get beat up and spray painted. So it's the same. So it's the same kind of thing. In most recent memory, the bloodline was one of those factions that elicited that type of fear. Where anybody that went up and up to the bloodline was like, I'm a fighter, but I already know it's gonna be tough because it ain't just Roman. It's Roman and everybody else in his family. You know what I'm saying? Roman Reigns' auntie might jump in the ring one day. Just you know what I'm saying? You never know. You fighting the whole damn family. So I think they elicit a fear. I think Indus Sher will elicit fear once they start talking a little bit more. They're very imposing on Monday Night Raw, and I got to talk about this because Indus Sher just destroyed Cedric and Shelton. Cedric and Shelton, they put up a little fight. They got some licks off. You know what I'm saying? They was going in, but the result was going to be inevitable. Indus Sher won that match. Cedric and Shelton, man, are a far cry from the Hurt Business that they used to be. And to be honest with you, I think that the feud within the Hurt Business when Cedric and Shelton was fighting Bobby Lashley, that really hurt Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin as competitors. And it made them look inferior. So now they just beat up guys. Like everybody is beating up on Cedric and Shelton, and I don't get it. Because Cedric Alexander is the truth. He can't, the boy can go. Shelton, as old as he is, he still can go. Man, they just crapping all over your boys of Hurt Business, man. What do you think about Indus Sher beating Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, LP?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely jobbing them out, making them look like jobbers. I mean, Cedric is still young. At least Shelton Benjamin has had his time in the sun, so I can see if Shelton is kind of like Dolph and letting the new guys come up. But Cedric Alexander is still pretty new. He ain't even really had his chance yet. I think he gonna leave eventually. I think he gonna get tired of it. I mean,
Can't
Sheldon
go
is.
where?
I mean,
Can't
where
go,
else can he go? I
can't
mean,
go
it ain't.
where?
But you
Like,
gotta think. He can go to. There's a lot of other promotion, but they can make a living now. Let's not act like WWE is in one shop.
no, I'm talking about from a standpoint of that the WWE is when pinnacle. If you can stay on the roster for a certain amount of time, you can get paid pretty damn well for a long period. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get paid the same thing, if not more, outside of the WWE. But to be honest with you, why would you want to go and I can see okay. I'm gonna take that back because this has worked for some people. When your boy what's his name?
Shit, Zack Ryder had
Zack
a lot
Ryder.
of people.
Zack Ryder. Matt Cardona changed his name to Matt Cardona. He started doing a lot of things on the indie scene. Probably made more money on the indies collectively than he has in WWE. But you can't not give him the nod for, hey, you are a WWE superstar. You are a former WWE champion. And now that you're outside of WWE, you've made a career for yourself and a name for yourself, and to the point that your girlfriend got fired and then got brought back to WWE.
Yeah, but
You know
you
what I'm
got
saying?
you got to look at from what you said earlier. If wrestling is your job, your career, and you're good, you want people to see that and know that. If you getting your ass beat every week by somebody like you, a rookie, and you never gonna. I mean, money is money, but you still got a career, and you want to do it. You want to do it while you still can. Look at Cody. If Cody would have never left, Cody would have got fired and business like everybody else. And don't get it twisted. If they start doing some cuts, people like Cedric and them will probably be the ones that'll go. So you gotta think: do you sit there and keep on letting them driving you out, or do you say, "Look, man, I done got this. I done made this little bit of money, but I got to do this while because the clock be ticking." So if I was Sheldon, or if I was Cedric, not Sheldon, because Sheldon been in the game too long. If I was Cedric and I'm still good like that, like, look, y'all gonna have to do something, man, because this right here, y'all trying to bring somebody else up, and y'all haven't even brought me up. That's like on a job when you train your replacement. They bring somebody in and be like, "No, I just need you to train them." Next thing you know, they don't took your job. No. When I used to work a job, I would never train nobody. I'm like, I ain't training nobody. Nothing. Nope. Nope. Because I know how jobs are. So yeah, imagine if Cody never left. Cody is a prime example why you can leave and go somewhere else and just see what happens. Like you said, Zack Ryder. There's actually a ton of wrestlers that are doing big things in other places. And just like you said, they probably can make more money. You're not bound to WWE rules. You can do streamings. You can do all. Look at Ryback. Ryback is trash. I didn't watch wrestling when Ryback was a thing, but I do know Ryback has a big following online, so he probably makes money, doing that other stuff. So
Right.
yeah, no. If he gets to the point you ain't you feeling like your job ain't doing you right, get your ass up out of there, man. The thing is, Cedric can go somewhere else and get big, and then WWE be like, "Damn, man, we had this opportunity. Let's bring him back." Just like they did with Cody. They saw what Cody was, and they were like, "You know what? This dude is huge now. Let's bring him back." But
Right.
Cody would have stayed in there with the Stardust outfit on.
He
You
would
never.
eventually listen, this is how I honestly feel. I feel like Cody had to leave and to do something. AEW came through Cody, which is great, and Cody brought AEW to where it is now, which is a real competitor. Not in the wrestling atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that they're a direct competitor to WWE, which, quote unquote said unsaid they are. But realistically, they can't really compete. That's just like Bank of America and your local bank. It's not they both banks. You know what I'm saying? You both get money from them. You know what I'm saying? There are benefits to both, but by far, Bank of America is the most recognized bank. You know what I'm saying? That was, and I want to talk to you about this real quick before we get into the rest of the show, and then before we end it. There was it was a message going around on social media. I think somebody had posed a question, and then it got picked up by a lot of wrestling circles to say, "Would you like to see Kofi Kingston have another championship run?" His first championship run was really lackluster. He didn't face any huge challenges other than Randy Orton, who was probably one of his biggest challenges was Randy Orton at that time. And then Brock Lesnar squashed him in like what 4, 5 seconds, 7 seconds, or something like some crazy stuff like that. So the question was, do you want to see Kofi Kingston have another championship run? I'm gonna pose that question to you, LP, because that's a very interesting question. Would you like to see Kofi Kingston have another championship run?
I mean, he's earned it. I definitely think he's the kind of guy that earned it. But to be honest, I'd rather see Dolph Ziggler get another run before I see Kofi Kingston get another run. So, I really feel like those older guys like that still have been through hell because they has remained. They had Dolph Ziggler and the boys fighting in the bootleg fight club that they had down going back there. Like they do whatever they do whatever they ask them to do and don't complain about it. So I would definitely say give them one more chance. But until they balance out some of this playing field, man, it's really gonna be pointless because if you give them the belt, you don't have them lose it so quick. Or at least give him a couple of months with it. Oh, I don't even remember his reign, so I couldn't even tell you how long he even had the belt. I know he wasn't even supposed to really even get the belt, but the fans made it happen. So I think that's the only reason why they gave him the belt anyway, because of the whole Kofi Mania thing. It wasn't because they was going to give it to him, because they definitely was not going to do it. So
Kofi wasn't even in the picture, man. That was one of those situations where the fans 100% made a superstar. I would even say, but I can't even say nobody else, because that was really organic the way that Kofi rose, almost like LA Knight. But LA Knight ain't really put in the work yet. He put in work on the independent scene, and he did a little something in NXT. He was the first $1 million champion in a long time, him and Cameron Grimes. But to be honest with you, he hasn't put years into WWE, but he feels like he's old. This is the thing. One of the guys, I think Barry Corbin, came back and said, it was like, you NXT guys come up and then you think that you're old, all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you're supposed to get a title chance and you're supposed to get all these opportunities. You're so entitled. And I would have to say that they are. I feel like LA Knight is a little entitled because I really wanted him to have some really good wrestling matches. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to see I like the entertainment stuff. I want to see LA Knight's wrestling matches. He had a great match on SmackDown. Who did he face on SmackDown? Geez, Louise, ham and cheese, please. I forgot. But anyway, it was a really good match. But I want to see him wrestle more and talk more and really legitimately build up his star. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see where LA Knight does, man, in this Money in the Bank thing. Hopefully he pulls out the win and proves me wrong, because I got Logan Paul to win this thing. I got Logan Paul to win it. I don't want to say it. I hate to say it. It felt nasty coming out my mouth, but that's what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Real quick on Raw, we had the return of Tommaso Ciampa. And I've been wanting to see Tommaso Ciampa for a long time. I was wondering what happened to him. He got hurt. And then the Miz got pissed off because Seth Rollins had got hurt earlier in the night. And he was saying, look, I wanted a match. I was going to challenge Seth Rollins. So I'm opening it up, open challenge to anybody on the Raw roster who wants to fight me. So then he came up. Tommaso Ciampa's music hit his old music. No one will survive this. I loved it. I love seeing Tommaso Ciampa back. I think Tommaso Ciampa is a real star. I think that he makes himself dangerous. I think he just needs to align himself with somebody because the playing field of WWE is a little bit different. So maybe he needs to look somebody else to bring up his star. But I'm happy to see Tommaso Ciampa back. I want to see what Tommaso Ciampa do, and I'm so excited. Let's go over to the Best Damn Nation, man. We got a couple of comments over here. What's up, guys? By the Elite not being at Dynamite tonight, what do you think Punk? Do you think that Punk will be there? That's a good question. LP, do you think that CM Punk will be in the building tonight with the Elite not being there on Dynamite?
I thought they were just gonna keep him on the Collision show. I thought they was making that his show. I mean, I may be wrong, but that's what I thought the point
Isn't
of
that a pay-per-view?
Huh?
Isn't
Well,
that
not-
a pay-per-view?
No, I think that's the name of the show. The show that he was when he debuted back. That's the new show. If I ain't mistaken, I might be mistaken, but I'm mistaken. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But no, it's the new show. So Punk will be on that show. They basically trying to get like two brands to space out some of the wrestlers, which they should do because they got a lot of wrestlers. Yes, no, I don't think CM Punk is going to show up because, I mean, it's inevitable that these guys got to work in the same company. I mean, that's just who hasn't had a job where you got people you don't like. That's a regular thing. Like I used to hate half the people on my jobs. So that's part of life.
It's a little high schooly, don't you think? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he gonna be there, well, I ain't gonna be there. You know what I'm saying?
It kind of is, but it kind of ain't, because a lot of jobs people go through that kind of drama. You know, he say, she say, people going back telling the boss different stuff, and you know, I don't mess with this person, or this person messing with this person, and you know, it's the life factor. I mean, they may get over it. They can be like men and be like, look, man, I was wrong, you was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this money, because that's really boiled down to at the end of the day. Let's get this money. Especially with CM Punk getting older, he definitely need that money. And these other guys, the Young Bucks, whatever, they need that money too. The Young Bucks are cool, but let's not act like the Young Bucks are the greatest. I used to like the Young Bucks a lot when I used to watch them on Ring of Honor, but I don't care for them as much as I used to. I just thought it was very entertaining. I never thought they was great wrestlers. Kenny Omega, now that's something totally different. Kenny Omega he earned the right for people to think he's one of the best in the world. But the Young Bucks, nah, I can't. You know, they're to me, I've never been that big on them outside of their entertainment part.
Yeah, I like the Young Bucks and their style of wrestling. I think for me, the indie style, and we were just talking about it earlier about certain moves being overused, and the Young Bucks for me are one of those groups that overuse moves. They do spectacular moves in the ring, but how many times can you super kick somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like 25 times in the face in one match. You know what I'm saying? They pull off some moves that are spectacular that look like finishing moves. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of bothers me a little bit. But to be honest with you, man, I love the Young Bucks. I love what they're doing. I don't know. Hopefully they're all on the show. Maybe they need to confront each other. You know what I'm saying? Start a little beef, a little internal. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they need a little friction to be able to carry the rest of the product, man. Because even CM Punk being back, you still have MJF as the champion. I'm not that excited to watch Dynamite anymore like that. Like I catch it on the back end, but I'm not regularly tuning in. You know what I'm saying? I think that the Bloodline storyline has been so great that it kind of just drew me into WWE, and I kind of slowed down on watching AEW because the more I watch it, the more it just don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things don't make sense. Do you feel that way, up here, or am I tripping?
Well, I mean, with me, I just ain't got that kind of time. I don't got time to watch. Now, back in the days, I watched Raw, I watched SmackDown, I watched Nitro. I watched Thunder. I watched Heat. Shotgun Saturday nights. Saturday night main event. Like I watched everything pertaining to wrestling. But like now I know some people watch both of them religiously, but I just ain't got that time. To be honest, if it wasn't for Hulu, I wouldn't see half the damn stuff that go on SmackDown.
Raw. SmackDown Raw,
yeah. Thank God for streaming. So yeah, I just ain't got time. Man, I definitely would though, because I when I catch the stuff that I do catch, I do enjoy it. I do think AEW has better wrestling. I just think WWE has better storylines, but they're not that different like everybody else they are, because WWE they have one good storyline. Everybody else is kind of less like there. But AEW matches and their promos are 1,000 times better than WWE. Like you can take several of the promos that go down to AEW, and you can't hardly count no promos. Like they don't even really do promos on WWE like that if you really think about it. Like they do backstage segments. But when was the last time somebody got in the ring and cut a hell of a promo? I can't even think of that.
Well, I can tell you, the last promo that I watched that was pretty good was on NXT, and now you have this past Tuesday and next Tuesday is an NXT event, Gold Rush, and Gold Rush has had some pretty big matches from the NXT roster, but one of the biggest matches was with the best match that I'm waiting on is Carmelo Hayes versus Baron Corbin. I know that don't seem like a big match for a lot of people, but it was a big match for me because I saw Carmelo Hayes step up on the microphone a little bit against Baron Corbin. And, Carmelo Hayes was like, look, Baron Corbin, you're not the first big guy that's come in here. You're not the first main roster guy that's come down and tried to take my spot. He was like, you keep saying that this is your house. You keep saying that this is your house. But since I took over the lease or the deed, I done put some extra rooms in here. I done put some extra windows in the house. And I had to replace a roof because I kept blowing that bitch off. Carmelo Hayes was saying, I am him. I am everything that you came here to do. I'm that challenge. You're not going to make a name off of me. Try to get your relevancy back. You know what I'm saying? And Baron Corbin hit him with the, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to come in. I'm going to take your championship. I'm going to go home. My wife going to make me a drink. I'm going to cook a big ass steak and I'm going to sit in my multi-million-dollar house and put that belt on the wall on my trophy wall. Man, you got to go back and watch that. I know I'm paraphrasing for both of them, but I want to see that interaction, man. I think that happens next week between Carmelo Hayes and Baron Corbin. But this Tuesday, we had Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker. I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect Seth Rollins to accept Bron's challenge. I didn't accept Seth Rollins to even show up after he got all his guts rearranged by Finn Balor. I didn't expect that at all. But he showed up and he showed out. They put on one hell of a match. Bron Breakker surprisingly dominated most of that match, where I thought on multiple occasions Bron Breakker was going to be the new champion. I was like, I can't believe that they're going to do this, but if they're going to do it, why not do it on a show like this for NXT? And that would not only bring and boost up the ratings for that show, but that will also bring Bron Breakker in and introduce him to the Raw roster as a legit badass to be able to take down Seth freaking Rollins. But he had a great showing against Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins pulled out the win, but it was a banger of a match. And if you have not had the opportunity, please do yourself a favor and go back and check out Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker on the first night of NXT Gold Rush. That was the main event for that. Let me go back out to the Best Damn Nation, man. They're on fire right now. We got Jay Logan says, get to the guests, man. We already went past that. You late. Let's go. Rumors are also that they have plans for Punk versus Quinta, but it was scrapped. I'm not sure if I said that right, Quinta, but I think I know who you're talking about. That would have been a big match. AEW has some really great booking. I can say that they have great booking. Do you guys think Punk will declare himself as Collision World Champion since he came out with the belt he never lost in the red bag? That's a good question. I'm gonna pose that to the best damn nation. If you guys have an opportunity, answer this question. Do you guys think that Punk would declare himself as Collision World Champion since he came out with the belt he never lost in that red bag? It's a good question. Thank you, Victor Nash, off of YouTube. Appreciate that, sir. Oh, man. Real quick, LP. There was something that I caught on while watching NXT. They're going to bring Raw Underground to NXT. I like Raw Underground. I like where they were going with it. I didn't know how it was going to fit in the show. I felt like it should have been its own entity. I think Shane McMahon was on track with it, but for some reason they just stopped doing it. For some reason, man. But now there are two people, Damon Kemp, and I don't know the new guy's name. It's skipping my mind. But he's really good. I watched him wrestle. But they have a Raw Underground style match. But the thing that really confused me was Damon Kemp's brother, Gable Stevenson, came out and said, "Hey, he went to his brother's competitor and say, I will train you to fight against my brother." That I didn't understand that. Why would you train your brother's opponent against your brother? That just don't make sense to me. How you gonna start off with beef? How you gonna start the whole thing off with beef? But that's interesting though. But I'm really interested to see if they keep the Raw Underground around. And if they do, I think that'll be good for NXT, man. For new people that ain't really doing nothing, if they know how to fight, at least they can get around and show people that they know how to fight. And then maybe they might draw some interest to their character. And maybe they might start doing some things on the main show for NXT. But to be honest with you, I'm glad that Raw Underground is back around. And I want to see what they do with it because I did like it. LP, did you like Raw Underground?
Not at all.
You didn't?
I did not like it at all because it was like a bootleg. It looked too much like Brawl for All for me. It gave me Brawl for All vibes, and we all know how bad that turned out. So no, I think it. It did give the guys something to do.
We remember Brawl for All though.
Yeah, I remember Brawl for All, but I remember how everybody came off bad. Nobody came off good at the end for Brawl for All.
Yeah,
it ruined Bart Gunn's career. Dr. Death Steve Williams, Brawl for All did not work out. So, kind of like you said before, if they would have do something like that, that needed to be. They need to make that an online show, like subscribe to WWE online or something, and make it an actual show. It don't need to be on no network. They don't need to put that much time in, but they can make that online only, Peacock exclusive or something like that. I should be working for these people because I got better ideas than they got. Instead of trying to put it on NXT, that could work online. Like kids or whatever will probably watch that online.
Right.
People watch that online even if they don't watch wrestling, especially if they think it's shoot fighting. So yeah, that's the only place the Underground should be, not on the show. I don't think so.
I think it has its place. I think you could really do something with it because a lot of NXT people that come up through NXT or even coming up the main roster do have MMA or fighting backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? And it's I love to see almost UFC element to it. And if they can make it work, because they're already owned by Endeavors, who owns UFC too. So it would just make sense if you can do a small segment or a small show, Raw Underground, and have NXT and SmackDown and Raw, people that aren't really doing much kind of compete in that element. I think it was good. During Raw Underground, I saw how badass Dolph Ziggler was. Dolph Ziggler was terrorizing everybody in Raw Underground. Double Kato, who is in NXT right now, he was dominating people in Raw Underground. Raw Underground was the first time we saw Omos as that big ass bodyguard. You know what I'm saying? He looked like part of the building. But you know what I'm saying? He was big as hell. That's the first time we saw Omos, man. But like I said, I hope they did. I hope they do something with it. I think NXT is a great place for that. And if they do make it a sub show, I hope they do make it a sub show. I will watch it. To be honest with you, I don't know about you, but I would take a look at it. I don't know. I'm just saying.
If it's online, I mean, it's easier to check on stuff online. I would if it was something like that. I definitely would, and it wouldn't cost them much to do that.
Okay. All right. Best Damn Nation, let us know what you think about Raw Underground, man. Are you guys excited to see Raw Underground back, or do you think it should have stayed where it was in the obscurity of WWE events and ideas? That goes a long way. Oh man. Well, listen, Best Damn Nation, we have had a great show. LPZ, let the people know what you got going on, man, and where can they find you?
As always, you check me out on my Instagram, One Click Photography Shoots, photos, fashion shows, events, all that good stuff. You can check everything out on there.
Oh man, if you need a photo shoot, go hit up your boy LP. He got what you need, Jack. He got what you need. Oh man, and my name is Brian Renegade. You can follow me at all platforms at Brian Renegade. Got all kind of stuff going on. So if you're on Facebook, check out Brian Renegade, or you can go to Renegade in Rio. See me and my partner. We get all kind of adventures, fun stuff, good stuff, good wholesome family stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if you get a chance, go to Renegade in Rio to our page on Facebook. Or you can check me out at Brian Renegade on all platforms and see what I got going on. I don't know why the Hot Topics is playing, but if you want to check out the show on our social media, the only thing that you have to go is to our Instagram at the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. You can go to our Facebook group at the Best Damn Wrestling Nation. You can visit our Facebook page at the BD Wrestling Podcast. You can go to Twitter at Best Damn Crew. You can visit us on Twitch at the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. And you can visit our TikTok at Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. And if you want to support the show, well, the only thing that you have to do is go to our Patreon, www.patreon.com/the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. For as little as $5, you can join the Best Damn Nation. You can get all kinds of goodies. We got cups, we got mugs, we got shirts, we got hoodies, we got all types of goodies for your pleasure. And we got behind the scenes content that you can only check out if you are a part of the Best Damn Nation. We've had some great interviews so far. We've interviewed the great Ron Simmons. Recently, we've interviewed Ricky Morton. We've interviewed Gangrel. We've interviewed EC3. And we got more coming for you at the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. So if you want to support the show, if you want to see us doing great things, let us be great and join the Best Damn Nation. Go to our Patreon, patreon.com/the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, to support your boys and to support the show. LP, we do this each and every week. We like to give people a little bit of motivation, a little bit of feel good. You know what I'm saying? Something to get you through the week. Beautiful people, it is time for the final word. LPZ, do you have a final word for the beautiful people?
I guess my final word would be just live. You know, whatever you got to do, whatever you're trying to do, whatever you want to do, just live and make whatever you want to do happen.
Oh man, that's a good one right there. Just live. You know what I'm saying? Don't just work to pay bills. You work to provide a life for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just live. You don't let the stress of your week and the stress of the day dictate on when you can show gratitude for living the life that you have right now. Even if you ain't where you need to be or where you want to be, just have faith. You know what I'm saying? Take a chance on yourself. Do something outside your norm. Eat something you ain't never ate before. You know what I'm saying? Just live. Live your life. Life comes in all different shapes and forms. But if you're true to yourself, you're true to what you want, and you go after what you want to have, then my friend, you are living life. You are living life. But that life ain't worth living if you ain't got love in it. Have love in your heart, love for yourself, love for your man, love for your woman, love for your brother, love for your sister, grandmas, aunties, all that. You gotta have love in your life. But just remember, beautiful people, to live your life. Don't be stressing. That's a beautiful word from your boy LP. You like how I elaborated on that, LP?
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
You know, I try to do my reverend every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Give it to the people. Beautiful people. I guess if I had to give you a final word, a word of motivation for today, it will be discipline will take you places that motivation cannot. Ooh. Discipline can take you places that motivation cannot. LP, let me ask you a question. You ever have a hard time motivating yourself to do something?
Yeah, all the time, like going to the gym.
Yeah, the gym is a struggle. I used to go to the gym all the time when I was young. Nobody had to ask me to do it. It was just an automatic thing. I would work out 3-4 times a day, and I was buff. I was so buff that even when I was living in Raleigh, right before I moved up LP, I used to go out to the club. And, you know, all my homeboys just up and got married and, you know, started living lives. So I would go to the club by myself. It would come to the point where I would just go into a club, and then the owners and security would come and say, "Hey, are you working tonight? Are you working this corner right here?" And I'm like, "Hey, man, I don't work here unless you want to give me a paycheck tonight. But other than that, I don't work here. I'm just a patron, just like everybody else." Like, who that big dude in the corner? But discipline helped me stay in the gym, helped me stay fit. When I lost that discipline, that's when I started putting on weight. That's when I had to motivate myself to get up, go to the gym, go for a walk. But when you can't motivate yourself, if you stay disciplined to something, if you stay disciplined to an activity, or if you stay disciplined within yourself or in a practice, or even something, stay disciplined within your religion, discipline can take you places that motivation cannot. Because sometimes a little motivation won't get you nowhere. But discipline can force your ass to get up and get going and get to it. You know what I'm saying? So discipline will take you places motivation cannot. If you can't get motivated, if you can't find motivation, discipline yourself to do it and get it done. Oh man, listen, I can't hold you any longer. You've been with me for about an hour and 37 minutes and 6 seconds. So I appreciate you, beautiful people, for joining me each and every Wednesday. If you want to check out more episodes of the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, go over to YouTube at the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, and you can check out all the episodes that we've had, just go over to the live section. You can check out all of our lives, or you can check out our repurposed content on the page also. Like I said, if you want to go to Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, we on all those platforms. Right now, we have about 15 platforms that we on right now. That includes one of our biggest platforms, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio. Anywhere you get your podcast, you can check out your boys, the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast, each and every Wednesday. Jack, see what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? We got more good stuff coming to you. But I can't hold you no longer. I know you got stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? I know you got some work that you got to do. If you in school, you got homework. And if you got a partner, you got to pay them some attention. So you can stop looking at me and go on to doing what you was doing before. But I appreciate you guys. And as always, we will see you next week on the next Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. Beautiful people, we bid you adieu.
Bye-bye, bitch.